Hi everyone. First of all, an apology for it being so long since my last video. I've had a work project over the last 6 months that's kept me really busy and everything else has just gone out of the window for that time. But I'm back now and hopefully we'll be continuing to produce more regular videos from now on. I'm also hoping to start a regular podcast within the next few weeks, so watch this space or go to my website or Facebook feeds for more updates on this. Today, I want to discuss the setbacks you might have during your recovery from chronic fatigue. And in this case, I'm not talking about the usual inevitable setbacks that can happen every few days or weeks, as in minor crashes. I'm talking about a major setback that can make you think that your chronic fatigue has almost started again and that everything you've done to help you manage and or recover from your CFS has all been in vain. Now, this can happen if, for example, you've had a virus like COVID or seasonal flu or any other major illness or a deeply stressful event such as the sudden death of a loved one, for example. Even the anxieties caused by a lockdown could have caused your symptoms to return or worsen, even if you actually haven't even had the virus yourself. So allow me for a moment to talk about my own experience. When I started creating my course, CFS, The Road to Recovery, I would say, about 90% recovered and felt pretty good most of the time. However, at the beginning of 2020, I and other members of my family developed a rather nasty coughing virus, which went on for weeks. Now, at the time, COVID wasn't really being talked about as a serious threat in the UK, but as time went on, it seemed likely this was actually what we had had, but we shall probably never know, as there were no tests then. But I do know that since that virus, I have struggled more with my chronic fatigue symptoms. I seem to have suffered more energy crashes, which can be triggered by the slightest thing, a busy day, walking too far, or a fitful night's sleep, for example. So I've had to listen to my own advice and listen to my body very carefully. I've reduced my exercise levels. I've built them up again almost from zero and been very careful about pacing and making sure I get enough rest. Now, I'm telling you this because I understand how frightening and frustrating it is when your symptoms return after things seem to have been getting better. And you can imagine that for me, who just started to create courses and give other people advice on recovering from CFS, this was a little mortifying. But here's the thing. Recovery is never straightforward. It takes time, and it will sometimes feel like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. So I understand how this feels. And some days you'll feel like things are really progressing, and on other days you'll feel like you'll never get better. If you've suffered a serious setback in your recovery from CFS, please don't despair. You might just need to go back to ground zero for a while. So if you've been building up your exercise to a certain point, you might have to go back to where you started the first time and build it up again. It might be slightly quicker this time. With me, by the end of 2019, I'd been walking at around 20 minutes every day before I caught that virus. But since then, I began to notice that I found even 5 minutes of walking could leave me exhausted for the rest of the day with either aching muscles or brain fog. So I experimented and I found the maximum amount of walking I could do without having this negative effect, which meant walking around my garden for 2 minutes and then gradually building up from that. So about half a minute every 4 days this time, and going back if I crashed. So eventually I was walking up the street and then round the block. I've gone a bit backwards and forwards, but now I'm up to about 10 minutes and moving on. So that's good. A few months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that without the negative effects. And I did the same with my yoga sessions, building up from low-level short sessions to longer, slightly more intense sessions, but skipping the practice if I feel any muscular aching or tiredness. So the point of this story is that no matter how bad your setback is, you can recover again and get back to the level you were at before. But you have to have patience. And as I say in my course and elsewhere, it is of vital importance that you listen to your body and don't push yourself. If your body is telling you you need to rest, then you need to rest. It's very easy to go into denial, especially if you suddenly feel worse after months of feeling better. I do know this one. I've been guilty of it. So I can't possibly be feeling worse again. So of course I'm going to do my yoga this morning. We're only human. So remember, you're not alone in this. Setbacks are horrible, but they do happen to all of us from time to time. Just one important note here. If your symptoms have changed and or worsened for no apparent obvious reason, then do get a checkup with your doctor because there could be something else going on. Do feel free to comment about your own experiences in this, and don't forget to subscribe and also visit my Facebook page and website in the links at the bottom of the page. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.